Look, I'm not going to make a big deal out of it when I finally financially made it, but there will be signs. Some of you grew up in the same age I did, where, the cool kid in school who showed up at, second, third, fourth grade or whatever, was a kid who didn't have the normal plain color 80-cent binder, but had the Trapper Keeper, right? It was so premium, this futuristic design that looks like the visual representation of like 1980s evangelist music. It was just the thing to have. Well, I was joking with my mom and chatting about that on the phone, about what it must have been like to be one of those Trapper Keeper kids. And lo and behold, the Trapper Keeper shows up at my house. And it is everything that I always thought it could be. You always expect to find those things to have lost luster, that they were just a function of the time. But this thing is something else. And I'm going to show you. Oh, did you feel that satisfying? Yeah, that's real live hook and loop Velcro. That's the real deal. And as we'll see, I'm going to open this up and see that I've tricked this thing out to the very best or maximum of its usefulness. First thing that we added to it was a 3-hole puncher / removable ruler, so anything can be then prepared to be put into this. It's not a binder, it's a life organization system, right? So that's what it's really about here. So yeah, the ruler and the hole punch, so that any papers or handouts or whatever that can come in can get reorganized and set in their proper spot. Found this thing that I didn't even know existed until I went shopping for it. A great, full page size storage with 3 separate pockets for different things. I'm still figuring out exactly which pencils, pens, and tools I want to have, but I do have some special ones here, and one that I might even review later. You got a Sense-A-Sketch, which is a great self-advancing pencil, but also this fun Bostitch. I'd never seen it before, and it just came up. I'm going to get that to focus a little bit, maybe. This Bostitch is just like the other Bostitch pencils, the classic yellows. It is still cedar. It's HB2, but it has this fun little clickable advanceable eraser. If you have children, and I do, we find that what they destroy first is the eraser. And I've got tons of pencils that look as if they've just been decimated because you can't erase, they'll erase entire pages of text, which is weird. You'd think you just throw it away, but no, they want to erase it. So they erase everything. And they erase with bitter vengeance, they're trying to hurt somebody, right? There's such anger in young person erasing. But this is a cap that I'm kind of surprised doesn't get sold on its own with this extended eraser on top of one of my favorite pencils. So these are available on Amazon and such, and I highly recommend you find them because I think the Bostitch is a great number 2 pencil. And 2, this is a fun little catch to have that eraser there. So anyway, whoops. See, that is the basics of the writing implements that I'm using. Of course, an eraser here, some note cards, right, to keep on hand for catching ideas. And then I found these pocket dividers that can be used for various purposes, obviously, and divide your work up. So I started off with a daily spread, if you're familiar with kind of the more maybe bullet journal style, which I've been using for years, but now we're moving to something larger than life. But I can get the daily, daily kind of what you're going to do with the rough hours, the tasks that I've got to keep, and then can keep past weeks for later review. I can evaluate my week. Then I got a weekly spread, the idea of just getting all the big events, making sure you don't overlook everything, and a monthly spread, and then and again, just began this, so I don't have a lot left. And then I'll eventually make a yearly spread with just different events, calendar points, things that I need to think ahead for. I've got one for weekly sermons and my sermon series, then all the other Bible studies that are going on, that I've planned out or scheduled out and figured out where we're going to go. One for conferences that are coming up and places that I'm going out to speak at that I need to prepare for and keep in mind and keep travel information. And finally, a good miscellaneous folder. Then you get that good beefy fistful of notebook paper, which actually was given to me with the awesome Trapper Keeper, and then the principal idea behind the Trapper Keeper system, which is these Trapper Keeper portfolios. So I've got an inbox that is just for bringing in information that can later be categorized and filed, and an outbox, stuff that is going to go out of the folder soon, and it ends with this lovely small, not legal size, but small notepad, right, for catching different ideas, impromptu meetings, all that fun stuff. And so it is. The life system, the Trapper Keeper, has been established, and thus we shall begin. So a huge thanks to Dad and Mom for this humorous gift, and I hope you'll find that, or maybe even be surprised by how much use it's actually getting. And it's just great to be one of the cool kids at long, long last, right? I mean, this makes me one of the cool kids, right? Right?